Good morning, my trippy hippies. Good morning. We're going to try this round two today. Um, I'm not going to apologize. This might be why. This might be why the things happened this morning. I just kind of realized it, right? But as you jump on here, I'm going to tell you why I said sorry, not sorry. Well, I'm not going to say sorry that we're coming in 37 minutes past when I got here to do this. I actually started going live at 10:06 and is now 10:37, which is 31 minutes later. But as you jump on here, say hello, tell me where you're watching from, drop us a grateful fed in the comments. And today we have a big topic, so we're probably gonna be a little late. Good morning, Dennis Casey. Speaking of Dennis Casey, look what I'm wearing today. Look what I'm wearing today. I manifested you showing up this morning, Mr. Casey. Dennis made me this amazing shirt. It says, "I'm not a hot mess. I'm a spicy disaster." And that's exactly what today has been. So, good morning, Mr. Dennis Casey from Michigan, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I always get people's places wrong. It's up in the northwest, northeast somewhere, or that area. Then we have Grateful Fed and Farmville from Norma Jean from Abilene, who we got out of the house this week. And then we have Miss Amanda Giorgetti from down in Florida. Look at her looking all hot and sexy in her picture there, her little AI picture. And then we have lots of people popping in today saying hello to everyone watching from Pinellas Park, Florida. So we know where Amanda's coming in from. And thank you so much for coming back and finding me after all the technical difficulties this morning. We are doing a Sunday sermon today that says Plant Based Healing 101 and Sorry, Not Sorry. So we are going to talk today. I have been a little MIA. We talked about that over the last couple of weeks. Talked about the I call it my hibernation period, right? My hibernation time. I have been a little bit hibernation. Give me a second to see what my nephew wants here. I know he wants something. My mom said she's picking me up for the vacation on Thursday around 3. All right, so that's fine. Okay. Have a great weekend. Next weekend, I need you both days. I've got my catering staff. We're getting geared up. If you are watching, are you interested in being cater staff? Weekends, nights, little hands here, hands there. Let me know. We are looking for catering. We're gonna load our summer full of weddings. I had stopped taking all the things off site because we didn't have the help, and I wasn't going to commit to taking someone's wedding without the capacity to fulfill the need, given all the other things we had. And now we're starting to get leveled out and evened out, and I can start seeing what we can do to book the next quarter. So I feel confident in booking everything. So if you're out there and you're watching this and TV land and you're here from Grateful Fed, because I am live in a bunch of places. I'm live on my personal page. Hi, I'm Tammy. I'm live on my personal page. I'm live on the Grateful Fed page. I'm live in the TMUnity, and I'm live on the Hometown Hippie page. Let me explain when I say that. It took my ability to post into groups completely away, Facebook and StreamYard. So that's one of the things that was going on this morning is I can't post in groups from StreamYard. I can't go live in the private group. I can only go live on the public page. So I'll have to go live when I'm going live just in Hometown Hippie. I will be going live from Facebook, not from StreamYard, so it won't be in several places. So people like Norma Jean, who watches us, as you can see from the TMUnity and YouTube, Norma Jean, whenever I go live in the Hometown Hippie page on Facebook, I'm not going to be able to show it to you like I have been. It's only going to give me the ability to post in the page. So if someone who is a brand ambassador, a moderator, an admin, if you can go share this live into the private group, I think we're going to do it that way. We're going to go live in all these places, and then we'll post it. We'll cross stream or host a viewing party from Facebook into our private group so that everybody's going to see it. I am getting back to basics a little bit, and I have been First of all, I want y'all to see, look how long my hair's got, y'all. It is crazy long. And I'm trying to leave it down today, but it is driving me crazy. So if you see this, I'm trying not to, but um, I have really been pulled and really been my guides and helpers, my angels, my kind of like guiding me. I am ready to fulfill my soul's purpose, and uh, I've been doing some soul searching and some energy work for myself with my healers that I go to. Right, I have healers that I go to. I have readers that I go to. We always talk about, with spiritual work, you have like you reach up for that next level of help, and then you have to, give the hand back. And it is the person below you's responsibility to search for it, but it's my job to actively participate in my raising of my consciousness. And then I offer the wisdom that I have learned from my expertise. So I don't even call it expertise, but my studies, whatever, right? To anyone who wants it, what you sorry, the internet's going to do that from time to time, and we're just going to hold space. That it's not going to be often or a lot. Motherfucker. I am so tired of technology trying to sabotage us. And I had my great awakening, and I started working towards this soul's purpose, this mission back then. We moved back home. We started growing our own foods. We started growing our own medicines. I was diagnosed with RA and lupus. I found out how to utilize nature's medicine, plant-based medicine. And I started creating recipes for a select group of folks who are my healing clients. Many of you are here. If you're a healing client, say, can I get a hallelujah, amen, a whoop whoop, something in the comments if you're here from the healing page. Now, my ultimate goal was also not just to offer the plant-based medicines, because Virginia got a little slow in how that was going to look and how we were going to bring that to the masses. And we have a plan for that, which I'm going to unwind today. But I also wanted to be able to show people that there's healing properties in all foods, because food is sensual, and I'm definitely a kitchen witch. And so, as I have been manifesting over the last couple of weeks in my soul's purpose, going, hey, God, right? What I'm saying is about, like, if you're new here, we combine a little woo woo, a little weed, right? A little spirituality, some recipes of life, right? The recipes of life. I believe that if you sit down together and you share a meal, that you now are family, and that people have a lot more in common than they have differences. We have a lot more in commonalities than we do differences, and we can discover that, and we can explore that over sitting down together and breaking bread, fellowship, community, and that's what I'm trying to do as my soul's purpose. Heather is 100% correct, right? And I always know when my messages are big, or my messages need to reach someone, because the darkness definitely tried. I was this close to saying, okay. I asked God. I was like, hey, is this you trying to tell me no, you're not ready to give this message today, and to take a step back and to tell them sorry, or is this something trying to block the message and I need you to guide me and let me know what to do. And I was told, you need to go live today. This is the darkness, like exactly what Heather said. The dark always wants to drown out the light when the message is important. Exactly. So um, we are going to power through today without letting the darkness kind of ruin our mojo, right? As much as that almost did today, and it's got me a little frazzled because I have notes, right? So we're going to take a breath because I'm later than I want to be. I'm going to ramble about the technology now. I'm going to lose 10 minutes of the day, whatever, right? It's just what it is. It's going to be where it's going to be. But if you are watching, I am live, like I said, on my personal page. I talked about the groups not being available, right? But in all of these groups, what we have in common is that we offer a place of fellowship, a place of community, a place of you are safe here, you are valued here, and we don't yuck anybody's yum. So when I hear me say angels, gods, and helpers, hear me say God, you hear me say whatever words I use to discuss a power that's higher than us. I tell people all the time, I don't yuck anybody's yum. I don't boo anybody's beautiful. Whatever your walk with your God is, those are use your words, right? When I talk about my walk, I call it first God's source, angels, God's helpers that I have. And here's the internet, right? I believe that I have a team of a spiritual team on my side, and that everyone in the entire existing energy, we are all just made up of energy. And the frequency at which we vibrate determines what form we're in, who we're around, all the things. And that energy is never ending. It's just transmuted, muted, or changed, or transformed. And I believe that my soul is my energy force, my God energy force. That there's divinity within me, just like there's divinity within you, because we are all sons and daughters, or children of God. And so don't take offense to anything. Don't think I'm crazy or cuckoo or whatever you want to call it. Just insert your word, Jesus, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever your words may be, put them there, right? You have your walk. So as I was meditating, praying, devotionals this morning, right? Meditating is listening, praying is asking. I prayed this week a lot, and I normally listen a lot more than I pray these days, because I've had this issue with not feeling worthy. And so I asked God, specifically angels, God, source, universe, whatever. It's like, hey, I need a little guidance this week. I'm feeling that something is pulling me. I'm feeling a large force of something, right? And people tell me all the time, Tammy, you're a serial entrepreneur. You always have these big ideas. I'm like, no, it's different. And I don't mean to say that in a dismissive way, or like you don't understand, it is different. And I think some of you can. Has anybody ever had like what they would say is like a message from divine? Has anyone out there, if you're watching, this is way more fun with friends, so please, this is a safe space. Comment. Have you? And if you're out there and you go to church, I would think that you would say yes, especially if you're saved. Because I'm going to tell you, I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and I remember whenever I went to the altar to be saved when I was a kid. Being in that moment, the energy, and I believe in Christianity, spirit, and all of those things. And I believe that you walk your path with your God, right? And whatever that may be is whatever that looks like. And for a long time, I was on that path. And I did go to the altar and I did give my life. And I was like, and I felt that energy. Like I felt that God energy. I felt that calling from God. And I'm guessing a lot of you have. So tell me if you've ever had that like push, like you're like, okay, I know I've got to do this, like get off my back. And the last couple, what I have been a little MIA, and I try not to get people all worked up because I have a lot of balls in the air. And God says to me, hey, there's going to be one more. And I'm like, is this ego? What is this? I'm starting to ask that question, like, hey, I don't trust my intuition. I need you to give me direct, like, this is your calling. This is what you're supposed to do. You can do this. I got you, right? And I have found lately, see, Heather says, OMG, my pull this week for you coming up in my own face. You can't make this up. You being the bee, and tending. Yeah. And I have really had this push. And so if you're in Hometown Hippie, right? If you're in Hometown Hippie, I'm talking about plant-based healing 101. And the reason I've had this push is because I have not, we're down to 4 people watching, right? It happens like that when it's a big message. I'm hoping we get to like 10 people watching. Let's try to get people over seeing our live today. We're only been on 15 minutes, so I'm hoping people will find us. And this message is important, okay? I have not been tending to my own health, right? Like Heather said, tending, right? I have not been tending to me. I have been just kind of letting everything happen and just surrendering to the flow. And there's been a big. I mean, I have got notebooks and y'all, I don't even think I picked them. I didn't even pick them up from the house, and they're at the house because God was like, no, girl, leave it there. And I have a list and I needed to bring it in because it's a lot of it's time, right? And I have really been stifling what my true calling was, which was our plant-based healing 101, our healing business. That has always been my ultimate goal, healing through food, healing through community, all of the things. But when I got into the brick and mortar location, right, the lines between flow and flight, and I love that, right, are so fine. That is so very true, right? And I'm going to leave that up there because that's probably going to be something that comes in a second. And I know that my goal 3 years ago, like my first like 5-year goal, like whatever, I'm trying to get something off my face here. Okay. So I told you in 2019, we kind of went and lost everything and all the stuff. And I decided I could control, and all of that was what I put into my body. And here I sit 5 years later with my McDonald's iced coffee on Sunday, and not the best option, right? But I started creating things that recipes for anxiety, for all of these things. So let me talk about what I've been doing. So not everyone out there is open to understanding that the earth, hallelujah, amen. If you know that there has been natural remedies to poison ivy, poison oak, there's been natural antibiotics, natural cleansers and astringents, natural anti-inflammatory items. Like, let me tell you a little fun fact. Cayenne pepper is one of the most cayenne pepper is one of the most amazing plants in the world, in my opinion, because it just knows what to do. So if you use, instead of using Bayer aspirin for heart disease, and I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, none of those things, right? But for example, cayenne pepper, if you use, like, take a little like cayenne pepper, if you have a tear in your arteries or in your arterial walls, cayenne pepper can go to that spot and it will know to constrict and to close the tear. It does that. It heals, right? Now, that same cayenne pepper, if you have an artery that is restricted, it can also go to that artery and open, right? That is the miracle of plant. And when people try to argue whether or not there's a greater being or a designer of what all the things that we do in that argument, I'm like, there's no way that these plants that talk, that have terpenes, that the terpenes are found in different places. Like, there's got to be a intelligent design to all of this. Chaos does not create the amount of homeostasis and symbiotic work between all of these things on our planet. Trees and forests, their root systems communicate. They know if a plant is a tree is in trouble. They will all, if a tree in a forest is dying, if some kind of fungus or something going on with the tree, the other trees in the forest will divert their nutrients to go and heal that tree, right? There are so many natural remedies and teas and things like that, okay? And when I talk about plant-based healing 101, Those are the little things that you don't have to even add in the psychotropic plant of the cannabis plant to even do that. When I say plant-based healing, some of our recipes, even in our Grateful Fed side, when I create them, the intentionality is from the ingredient panel, right? What vanilla is used for, what sugar is used for, what cinnamon is used for, what nutmeg, what allspice, what those plants' properties give between protection and abundance and all the spiritual meanings of it, right? In regards, and then you have all of the actual physical things that it helps. And so the plant-based healing with food is one of those things where I really, really, really wanted to focus my energy. But as the business side, as the doing of the business grew, the cooking of the food, the making of the things, the entering of the internet, the taxes, all the things, that all went over here and just got set aside for a minute while we did the thing. And I have felt, like Heather said, right? The line between flow and fight are so fine. I went into fighting to build a business, and I didn't stand in my power. I didn't flow into it. It became something I had to do. I had to purposely set my mind to do it, right? And I have been apologizing for that, for everything since, right? Can anybody else, can you? And I said, sorry, not sorry. Because this week, when I have been in this, like, I'm sorry I was late because I was late to everything this week. I'm sorry that didn't happen. I'm sorry I dropped an entire tray of cookies. I have felt very, very, very much like a failure because of the amount of times that I've had to apologize in the last couple of weeks to people, whether it's been to somebody that worked with me, who I've kind of snapped at. There's been people who I have didn't realize I needed to unload information on. And like the other night, I was standing at Taste of Farmville, and someone asked just the simplest question about pineapple or something. I can't remember what exactly the question was. But y'all, I gave like a 30-minute lecture on this ingredient. Like taught it, like I was like, here's the exciting part of it and all this, blah, 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 right? And I apologize I'm sorry that I food nerded on you. And I know you didn't want to hear that. Fast forward to the push, the call, the listening to God, and the prayer, like, help me, blah, blah, blah. God sends a clear message, right? Stop apologizing. No one's, you're the one, it's you. So God said to me, reframe it. Whenever you are late to something, remember that time is imaginary. That you should, my journal entry is respect time and be prompt and focus on being as good as your word. That is an integrity thing for me, right? And I struggle with it. With my neurodivergentness, my ADHD, I struggle very hard with time management. So I've got to create tools and systems to help with that. But versus me apologizing for it, right? Versus me apologizing for that, I'm going to reframe that and say, instead of saying, I'm sorry I was late, I'm going to say, I appreciate, because gratitude raises the vibration. I'm like, I've got to raise myself out of this terribly like low vibrational feeling that I'm in right now. I have been in a very, I know where I've been vibrating. I can feel it. I've been very, very low vibrational lately. Okay. Right. For being late, I'm going to change it to a place of gratitude, which then changes and raises the vibration. This is the sorry, not sorry part that I want. This is the big message for you all today. All of us need to hear this. I appreciate your patience. See how that changes it all the way around? You are taking them out of a place of like having to, oh, you insulted me. You're apologizing to me, right? To, I appreciate you. I am grateful for your patience. Thank you. Gratitude, right? The other night, I am so sorry I just word puked on you. I'm so sorry that I made you hear something. Like, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my Tammy talk, right? So I want each and every one of you. So when I was going to do this thing, I was like, well, I really was journaling. I was like, half the people don't want to hear this. I'm going to go live in all the places. And then it's going to be, this is that. It's like, no, sorry, not sorry. This is your mission. You are here to heal this planet through food, fellowship, community, and these kinds of bringing together of people. Stop apologizing for it and lean in. Be your most authentic self, right? When I say, I was like, God, give me the answer. Stop apologizing for being you. Understand that plant-based healing is what you know, what you're good at, and I want you to bring it to the masses. You have a way to bring it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do all the things. So we're going to talk a little bit about plant-based healing today, and we're going to talk just a second about it. Time management is my nemesis. Yes, right? But raise it out of that lower vibrational thing and see if you're, and I've been on Time Sense. I'm telling you, changing the frequency around it will loosen your grip around it, will help you not be, because I think that sometimes we get caught up on time management because we're claiming that we're bad at it. I'm always late. I just claimed it out to the universe. No, I am grateful for your patience and I honor your time, and I will see you at the time at which we agreed. You know, I am going to change my relationship with these things. And that's what I'm doing with plant-based healing. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to bother you with this. No, I'm not, right? Sorry, not sorry. I appreciate the people who understand that there's a different way to do things and that you are drawn to this location. You are drawn to this channel. You are drawn to my business. You are drawn to me as your light worker and healer, right? So let's talk about the plant-based healing that we kind of go big on. And as you all know, in Hometown Hippie, we do have our pantry collections that are popping out. And when I started this, I get sidetracked. I talked about when I came into this after our bankruptcy, after we kind of clean slate. We had moved back here from Richmond, and Jennifer Aniston. Anybody know Jennifer Aniston from Friends? Was it Rachel? Rachel from Friends? Everybody knows Jennifer Aniston. It was her 50th birthday, and she was like People magazine or Vogue or one of those, and like one of those photo shoots. And I was like, man, if I could just, that's my goal. I was like, what's my 50th goal? And my 50th birthday goal, like something that I wanted to have done by the time I'm 50, right? Something that I have on my agenda that universe is like, I'm showing this to you, you can do it, is that I wanted to have my very first cookbook published. And I wanted to be done by the time I was 50, my first book. I've always wanted to write, and I've always wanted to share with folks. That's a heart passion of mine. I love cooking, but something that I've always, my little secret thing is I've always wanted to write. And I thought, I love to cook. How do I share the stories of cooking in a book in a way that will help someone else find joy in it? So we're going to start with the pantry collection. We're going to start with the Hometown Hippie cookbook. I'm not sure what the name's going to be, like Rising from the Ashes or something like that. But this week we are featuring our hippie hot sauce, right? And every day this week, I am going to drop recipes out for you all to try at home with our hot sauce and to teach you how to utilize the pantry collection. And then the cookbook will actually take you through creating the pantry collection at home, all the way through all the recipes, okay? Bring your own Tammy Talk. I love to learn new things. Educate me, please. I love that. Thank you so much, Norma Jean, for being here. And so this week we're doing the hippie hot sauce. That is going to be the featured item of the week online. And we're going to drop recipes all week with that. So that is available for purchase. I'll be dropping that out today. And then we're going to go into olive oils. We're going to go into honeys. We're going to go into caramel sauce, the chocolate sauce. All of those things are going to be released. And then we're going to try to, I need your help picking the recipes that go into the cookbook and feedback on how that you put them together, what maybe steps I missed, some things that would have made sense. We're going to do some lives cooking together with it this week. So I've got some plans for it. But let's talk about why I chose, right? Why did I choose when I came back here to get involved with infused treats with the hemp plant and things like that, right? Plant-based healing 101. I was diagnosed with lupus and RA, autoimmune disease, in 2019. And I was told the only way to combat that was big pharma, right? There was chemotherapy drugs that would do immunosuppressors. There was prednisone. There's going to be pain management for my joints and my arthritis pain as I get older. They would offer me nerve pain, all these things. And I'm like, and for those of you that don't know, I'm very honest about this as well. My brother was ideal early 2000s, into the 1900s, 90s guy. He worked blue collar. He would get hurt at work, being stupid sometimes and punching a wall and breaking his hand. And they would just throw Oxycontin. They would throw hydrocodone. You can go to work with a bad back if you got some Oxy or some hydrocodone. Then they started realizing how addictive it was, and they take you off of it because you're eating it like candy. You're totally addicted to opioids. And the next thing you know, he is doing heroin, trying to get the same buzz. And he got caught up, and he is in jail for it. And so to me, opioids are the devil. Opioids and alcohol are low vibrational. And I don't yuck anybody's yum personally for me. And I'm sorry, not sorry. I do not fuck with pills or drinking. I just don't. I think it's just, I grew up in bars, and I saw marriages, I saw jobs, I saw people just ruin their lives over drinking. And I have personal experience in seeing people that I love lose everything over these opioids. And that's why I say all the time, I'm California sober. And people say, well, you just pick your own vice. You just want to talk. I was like, no, I want to read this to you. And I have big feelings about this, but here's the deal. Cannabis has existed on this earth long before we did. One of the oldest cultivated crops, it has proven to be resilient and extremely versatile plant. Not only can it be used to create useful material goods, hempcrete, hemp papyrus, hemp clothing. Hemp is way better than cotton. It's way better than denim. It's got so many uses in so many ways. Not only can it be used to create useful material goods, but it can also aid in the treatment of cancer, Alzheimer's, post-traumatic stress, multiple sclerosis, ALS, nausea, HIV, AIDS, Crohn's disease, glaucoma, epilepsy, and a growing list of other conditions. While new research continues to emerge on an almost daily basis, there is still a long way to go to fully understand the many amazing benefits of this amazing plant. And I have spent the last 4 years, and it's not a long time in the grand scheme. There are people who know a lot more than me, working with this plant in every way you can think about, talking to people, learning from people. And I tell people, I don't know everything about everything. I don't. I know that I utilize it because our bodies have an endocannabinoid system. And I'm going to see if I can find, let me see if I can, that's the parts. So let's talk about this, okay? Ceremonial, which is how I also use it. We use it in 3 ways: ceremonial, recreational, and medical is what I tell people all the time. Ceremonial. The use of cannabis in a ceremonial and spiritual context dates back many thousands of years. In India, a drink of cannabis, milk, nuts, and spices, which I have a recipe for that. It's called Bhang tea. I might not be saying that right. It's Bhag or Bhang tea. And it's for like a ceremonial use, but I have a recipe for that. It was consumed at the Hindu festival of Holi to celebrate the god Shiva, who, as legend goes, created cannabis from his own body. Taoist texts from the 4th century mention using cannabis to increase vessels for medication and spiritual needs because it helps connect to the body, right? So sometimes you use that as like tinctures and oils and infused offerings because a little bit of sugar helps the medicine go down. Cannabis too, right? Ancient German pagans associated cannabis with Freya, the goddess of love. It was believed that Freya lived in the flowers of the plant, and by ingesting them, one possessed Freya's divine powers. In modern culture, the Rastafarian movement has embraced cannabis as a sacrament and consider it to be the tree of life. Anecdotally, many people today use cannabis for meditative purposes, right? So for me, I am able to quiet my mind and to be able to connect to divine in a ceremonial way because we're constantly going. The cannabis plant knows where to go and what to do. It's kind of like that cayenne pepper I talked about earlier, right? Recreational. Marijuana is the 3rd most popular recreational drug in the world, just behind alcohol and tobacco. In the United States, the percentage of people who report smoking marijuana has doubled over the last decade. While many of those people are using cannabis for medical purposes, most are recreational users. That means that they use cannabis for its psychological and physical effects, which include relaxation, euphoria, introspection, and creativity. 4 states, when this book was created, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and Alaska, along with the District of Columbia, have legalized the recreational use of marijuana, which now it's a lot more states than that. And we're hoping for federal legalization. And if you're out there, sign every petition. And I want you to go to the voting booth with that in mind. This is a natural plant that everyone has the ability to grow to create medicine in a bunch of different ways. The government does not want it legalized federally because they have no way to regulate it or to tax it. But we as individuals have the ability to do that for ourselves. And that's what I'm talking about. I am sorry, not sorry that I am taking control of my life. I am sorry, not sorry that I'm going to create the medicines that me and my community need. I want to teach you how to do it yourself. I am not trying to gatekeep. I've done it for you, right? To a little bit of sugar to help you, because some people don't know how and can't do it, right? But I want you to be able to, like I said, God says, if you teach a man to fish, he eats forever. If you give him a fish, he eats for today. I can feed you fish all day. You can buy fish from me all day long. But I want you to be able to eat forever, okay? And then last but not least, this is why, medically, right? One of the oldest written medical records of cannabis dates back to 2700 BCE in China in the form of ancient healing book. The ancient text indicates the use of cannabis in treating a number of disorders, including rheumatism, gynecological disorders, and absent-mindedness. In the late 1800s, cannabis became available at drugstores across the United States in liquid hashish form. In fact, an 1862 edition of the Vanity Fair advertised a hashish candy for the treatment of nervousness, weakness, confusion, and melancholy. Under its influence, all classes seemed to gather new inspiration and energy, it boasted. When we talk about marijuana, our focus is on its use to treat or prevent a wide range of health issues, from reducing nausea and stimulating appetite to relieving pain and easing muscle spasms, and much more. I just want to say that I know that a lot of you have been helped in a number of ways by this plant, including me. I tell people every day that I use cannabis every day in every way as a holistic approach to my health. Our bodies have an endocannabinoid system, and when it's activated by your CBD, your THC, whatever, it is going to help bring your body into homeostasis and help. What it does, it helps bridge the gap between your mind, your mental mind, your mental body, and your physical body. So it allows your mental body to then go in and literally you can send energy and heal your physical body. That's what I say. That's how I believe cannabis helps. Okay. It also, CBD is going to help your inflammation, all your medicine. THC is going to be all your psychotropic, and then terpenes are going to be that's like the trifecta, like the Holy Spirit, right? That's the Holy Trinity in cannabis. CBD, THC, and terpenes. And then they have the way they work together is the entourage effect and how you have the percentages of each one. So as we have been moving through this process of what we're trying to do here at Heart of Virginia Hydro, at Hometown Hippie, with, I don't know, Nelson's Farms. I don't know what we're going to call all the things, the Phoenix, the fried Phoenix farm. We would like to grow, process, and share the healing plant with each and every one of you, and create a place for you to come and learn about it and to get hands-on in the dirt. Think about the elementals, the water, all the things you use to create that, and just go through the whole process of it. And I want to teach each and every one of you how to do that for yourself, whether it be indoors, outdoors, wherever it may be. And we're hoping that we can get federally legal so that everybody everywhere has the ability to learn and we can show it and it not be so taboo. because it is nothing more than a plant that helps heal. It is like the cayenne pepper. It is like the tomato. It is like it is a plant that God gave us. It has been here. It has been here, the oldest cultivated plant in our country, the oldest cultivated plant, and is only legal because of racism and legal and federal regulation. And that's the truth of the matter. I will swear on, here you go. I will swear on anything that it forms neurological pathways in the brain. My mama can speak more clearly and with context after partaking with and then without. Real results speak louder than any. Exactly, right? And here's the thing. Every single person is different. And whether you believe it will or it won't, you're exactly right. So the naysayers that come into this going, I take people a bunch of potheads, blah blah. Then you're right. That's what you're going to go in, and you're where your mind goes, your energy flows. And I've seen it like with people with Parkinson, people with epilepsy. There's a specific strain for epileptics called Charlotte's Web. It is a tincture that is made, and there's a little girl who was having like over 1,000 seizures a day. Her body was in a constant spasm. She was not expected to live very long because of it. They created this. They gave it to her. She's cognitively functioning without these spasms. She might have a seizure every couple of weeks, maybe. The people who have taken Parkinson's and can't eat and feed themselves, they can take and partake of this, and then they are able to have time between those episodes, between partaking, and they found tinctures and topicals and medicines to help them have some normal quality of life. And what is wrong with that? Like, to me, it's like people have no problem taking gabapentin or trazodone or hydrocodones or all of these Lipitors and Wegovys and metformins and all of these different medications. And if you all really took a few moments to look at how some of these drugs came about and why you're on them, if you're on a medication for cholesterol, I'm begging you to go try to figure out a way to get off of it. If you have a parent on it, get them off of it. And I don't mean that. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to tell you, I have done enough. I have gone down enough rabbit holes with the whole, and I was on that train. The increase in the amount of dementia and Alzheimer's is directly correlated with all of these Lipitors and all of these. I can't think of the name of them. They're something kinds of pills for cholesterol pills, and I know the name like I know my own name. What are they called? Somebody out there knows, because y'all probably somebody's on them, right? What type of drugs are? What are they called? What are cholesterol medicines called? What type of meds are for cholesterol? They're called something. Statins. That's exactly. Thank you. I could not get it out. Statins, right? So whenever drug companies were creating stuff, they were like, okay, well, people who have high cholesterol, and there's really no correlation. Heart disease is caused by damaged arteries, not clogged arteries. Clogged arteries can cause damage, but that's a whole nother story. Like, really go look into it. I really want y'all to go look into the science of it. I don't communicate it as well right now, but trust me, okay? But it's a way to, because you start taking a statin, you need it forever. They're going to have you to come back forever and ever and always. Every month you have to get that prescription filled, right? That drug is specifically linked to the increase of number of dementia and causing white matter on the brain and Alzheimer's. So now they have given you an early onset Alzheimer's, which means you get to now be on more medication and go back into the medical wheel and to rehab centers and the cognitive therapy and all of these things, right? So I was on 13 pills, and I decided that there has got to be a better way. And I was at the doctor's office every other week. And I tell people, it's funny how when you stop going to the doctor, you stop needing to go to the doctor, right? So I am here to say that find what works for you. Be unapologetic about making decisions for you and your family that are right for you and your family. And stop apologizing and raise it to the frequency of gratitude. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. I am going to stop apologizing and start being an appreciation of people's patience, of their ability to listen to me. Because here's the thing: I am now saying that I did something wrong if I apologize. And what I've told you, I'm not apologizing. Like, I'm sorry for search. I'm not. I appreciate those of you who have stayed and listened. I appreciate those of you that will do your own research. I am not a doctor. I do not pretend to be one. I did not even stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But what we are doing is we are going to be more true to our mission. We are going to do those things which bring us joy. We're going to stop defining what it is that we do, what it is that we don't do, what we can and can't do, all the things. And we are going to go back into operating from a place of highly vibrational gratitude. We are the Grateful Fed Catering Company because I am grateful for each and every one of you. I say we're the Grateful Fed family because once I feed you, your family, and all I'm doing is my crowded table, right? We're building our crowded table. The people who we touch through our through our food. And I say I use whole foods all the time. And not just do I put, just not the hometown hippie food that is Reiki infused. Every single wedding, every single funeral we have had the privilege. Because being there in people's worst times, people's best times, people's happy times, people's sad times, people's all those times, we serve a purpose. And again, whether, it's a hug through a bite of chicken salad, it's a kiss on the cheek through a strawberry shortcake cupcake, it's a reminder. And we know what the events are like. I'm like, what are you doing today? What's your event? What are we bringing food for? Because I want to make sure that if it's a business meeting, I'm like, we infuse over that, hey, may the highest and best outcome of this meeting come for all the participants. May everyone's voices be heard, and may they come to the solution that is best for the overall benefit of everyone in the universe. Whether it be making a plan for the Moton or making a plan for students at Longwood. If it's a graduate seminar, I'm like, bless these people as they go out and create their step into the world with this knowledge they've learned from this university. If it's a wedding, bless this couple to the highest and best. Let them be abundant in love. Let these families come together as one. If it is a funeral, please heal the hearts of those on this plane that are not walking with their loved ones. If their loved ones need help passing over into the light, please let them have the ease of passing over, knowing that their loved ones are taken care of here and held in love in this plane, and that their work here is done and to go rest high and be easy and loved. If it's a graduation party, a protection and love for the graduate. Birthday parties, a great new year, anniversaries, you understand what I'm saying. That is what sets us apart from other companies. That is what sometimes you pay for. There's energy, exchange of energy is also, an exchange of energy. But I am no longer going to apologize for. We're going to operate from joy. We're going to operate with the knowledge. I'm going to appreciate you for listening. I'm going to appreciate people for understanding that we have a niche, that we do things a little differently. That comparison's the thief of joy. And I have been comparing myself to every restaurant, to every food truck, and to every caterer. And we are not like any of those things. We're never going to be, we're our own little thing, and we're going to just be uniquely ourselves. We're going to be weird Barbie over here all alone. And we appreciate and not apologize for it. We appreciate each and every one of you for coming to Weird Barbie's house, right? For coming in and understanding that the crystals are there for a reason. That some days you might walk in, we might be doing a sound bath because we got to stop what we are doing and clear the energy and change the vibration. Because we have done that. Like, time out. The energy is weird. Lock the doors. We're doing something. We're smudging. We're doing something. But we are going to go in, and you're going to see a lot more of this, and I am going to keep these things kind of in the places they need to be. So a lot of the things you're going to see on the Grateful Fed are going to be fun new recipes that I'm trying out, new appetizers and things that I want to do. I've got some new ideas that came into my head for that. Some new packages. We have a whole new website coming in the next 2 weeks. We're hired a company that we're meeting with them tomorrow afternoon to make some crossing some final T's and dotting some final I's. And you are going to see a whole new professionally done website with newsletters and SEO searches and all the things. I'm going to allow the people that do that better and spend the money. I got a good deal, so I'm going to put some money into that so I can do the things that make my heart big. And the universe told me, stop tripping over pennies trying to make dollars, and that when I'm in flow, everything flows, right? And I want you all out there to know that there are lots of opportunities coming up for community and fellowship. We are doing philanthropic Fridays all summer long. So all summer we are going to be doing monthly, like weekly fundraisers. We're going to do as often as we can. We can't guarantee every Friday, but we do have another. We did last week. We did fried chicken Friday. We are going to do a ribs this week. I was going to try to do a low country boil, but we're going to save that for Memorial Day weekend. We're going to start getting pre-orders of that early. So the last weekend of the month, we're going to be doing low country boil bags to go. And then this week, we're going to be doing some ribs. We're going to be doing ribs, half and whole racks of ribs with quarts and large sides, and homemade desserts to go out the door Friday. Plus, we're going to have the food truck all day Friday. We're going to be out at the Flower Festival, and we're going to be catering a big event on Saturday night for the middle school, a 200-person semi-formal. I'm super excited to see the kiddos out there. But we're going to choose those things which bring us joy. We're going to be authentically ourselves. We're going to start teaching a lot more. I'm looking at hopefully doing some camps coming up in the next couple of years. I'm not going to say this summer because we probably won't get to it this summer, but the goal is, by next year to do that. And the two festivals that I have been in my preview, the universe has told me in this week of meditation and this week of prayer, that is definitely a thing. We're going to do a Peace, Love, and Feast Fest and a Harvest Fest. And that is going to be the 2 weeks of retreat. We're going to do an April retreat and an October retreat. So like the last week of October and like the 20th, 22nd, 19th through 23rd every year of April is going to be Peace, Love, and Feast Fest with our retreat. And then September will be Harvest Fest with our retreat. And those are going to be our two landmark events of the year. We're going to work things around. And then that's where we're at. That's where we're going to go. And we're going to really work on this year. I'm going to take you through our outdoor grow from start to finish because I want you to see us deal with it in real time. I'm going to be documenting that on Reels and on short videos here on YouTube. On YouTube and on Reels on Instagram and Facebook. So stay tuned for that with taking the website off of our page, doing all that stuff. We're going to see about utilizing some of these. I'm going to get some videos made. I got some people going to work with me on that. So let's do our card pull for the day. We're going to be within our hour. I know that we started a little after when we thought we were, but here we are doing the thing. You are not like anyone else, and I am struggling with that. Like, I really do struggle with going into the rooms where other people are. And comparison is a thief of joy. And I have really been stealing my own joy lately. Stealing my own joy. I love that. We are going to create a festival committee. So there are going to be some investors in that. That's going to cost us some money to get it going. So we're hoping that there's some people who want to get involved and be investors in this. That's going to be a company all of its own. I'm going to take the Heart of Virginia Hydro LLC. For those of you who don't know, Red is going to be going. He's taking a job. Going to be traveling out of town. So I'm going to be taking a more lead role on Heart of Virginia Hydro. And we're going to see how it goes. We're going to change it a little bit. I'm going to be adding some SKUs in, some more hippie stuff. Like we've got succulents in there. I've got a lot of local vendor stuff that I really want to get into. I'm hoping people will start shopping out here, We're going to increase our revenue stream. It's not about increasing our revenue stream as much as it is about increasing our outreach. Like my goal here, like the universe told me, is like the reason that you're in the brick and mortar. Because I'm like, I'm ready to go be like a hermit again. Like this is a lot of work. Like, that's where I was last couple. I'm like, maybe I should just like build a little metal building, put the bakery in the little metal building. Selena can come to the house like she used to and work. We can take some deep breaths. Amy and I can handle this. Barbara can handle, what can we do to make it a lot easier for everybody involved? I need to take a step back, maybe, da-da-da-da-da. And you're just like, nope. The reason you're in the brick and mortar is because there's people who need to see the light. There are people who are going to be drawn to this location and that they need to come in here and that they need to, thank you, Amanda. Since PR, you've always made me feel like family. I always felt like I could trust you. It's the energy and vibe. And you can trust me. Like, I am very trustworthy. Like, I mean, I really am. Like, I could be an asshole sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all. If somebody tells you I'm a villain in their story, I want you to believe them, maybe, and I want you to wonder what happened to make me a villain. Because when I'm love and light, I'm love and light. But I can get pushed to the place where I'm like, nope, no more. I'm not putting up with this energy anymore. I love you, but we're done. Our energy exchange is done right now, right? Um, I can love you and I can love you from a distance. And I want every single person in the world to eat. But I am not always gonna be the person that has to feed you or set you at my table, right? I don't wish any harm on you, but it's not my job to take care of you, right? It's not my job to bring you to, because not everybody is meant, not everything is for everybody. And if you're not vibrating at the level that you need to vibrate at, then you need to step off. And it's interesting because we have people kind of come and go, and I'm really struggling with, like, oh, I want things to never change, and the universe goes, the only thing consistent in this world is change. And something God told me a while ago while I'm shuffling these cards and getting my energy into it. um God said to me, is like, not everybody is meant to stay forever, and that these people come through and you have to be like the way station. Like, there are people, like, I feel like Carly is someone who is like an energy healer who you stay with for years and years and years and years and years, right? And she expands her offerings, and she is just like the sage of healing. Um, this location, what we do here, I have always felt like, in the grand scheme of your spiritual journey, we are just a stop on the way. Now, some people come back and visit often. They keep in touch. They're friends, right? But as far as like the needing of the hometown hippie, the needing of the TAM unity, right? The needing of being here. There are people who were here and who used our offerings hot and heavy. I saw them weekly or every other day for over a year, and they have just disappeared. And sometimes they pop back in and, like, hey, things have been weird, and I couldn't be around you. I'm like, because you had something bad happen. You had some vibratory things that took you away because you weren't in alignment with the group anymore. But we stayed consistently here. It's like knowing that your Wawa is going to be there whether you need gas or not. And that's what I'm okay with, right? And that's what the universe said. You were like the little rest stop for people, and you give them a hug and you refill their gas tank and you send them down the road to their next little thing. And sometimes they come back to fill their tank up. But know that your light is always, like, I'm like the Motel 6, right? We'll leave the light on, and we love you, and we love you where you are, and we hope that you're well. And that's what we do. We provide that place, right? We provide a place to come get a hot meal, get a shower, and get on down the road, right? Like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna serve a purpose for you, baby. But you gotta go and you gotta grow, because we can't do it for you, right? And that's the thing for everybody, right? That's the thing for everybody, is that sometimes you have to understand that things are there for a season, and that there's nothing wrong. There's no apology needed. Like, instead of saying sorry, you gotta go. Like, thank you so much for coming by to see us, and we're so excited to see what the next leg of the journey looks like for you. So as we go into this next week, we're going to remember that there are reframing, stop apologizing, reframing, and know that we have got some fun things we're going to teach this week. And I want you to listen to your body. When you go to pick up something, it's called muscle testing it, right? Plant-based healing 101. Here's your micro move to start your plant-based healing, okay? When you go to get something out of the refrigerator or even go to the grocery store, I want you, right, to notice, like, okay, bananas, and you pick the banana up, and I want you to notice if your body moves towards it or your body moves away from it. That's called muscle testing. Your angels, guides, and helpers is the first place to look at your intuition. When I go to the grocery store today, I am muscle testing. I'm like, why am I drawn to bananas right now, right? And I'm low on potassium. Your body knows what it needs. I want you to muscle test the things that you eat today. I want you to muscle test something that you buy today. I want you to pick it up, and I want you to feel if you feel like your body's pulled towards it or if you're pushed away from it. If you're pushed away from it, I want you to put it back. I want you to spend one day only ingesting or taking things in that your body moves towards. If your body moves away from it, I want you to put it down and walk away from it. That is a first little baby step, 101, right? Plant-based healing 101, listening to what your body needs. When my body craves broccoli, I know that it needs broccoli. I want you to muscle test your food today. That's our first little lesson, okay? Even when it comes to picking up a oh, I love it. I love it. I'm going to send air hugs to all of y'all. So we're going to pull our card today. We're going to see what the angels, guides, and helpers have for our crystal card for today. I'm going to be a little bit over. Thank you for, and look what jumped out, y'all. It literally flipped over as I was shuffling. Adventuring. And we haven't had adventuring in a while. Create your own luck. How funny is that? You create your own luck. Adventuring. All right, let's see what adventuring is telling us about creating our own luck this week and what our messages are for our journals. And if you're not getting in your journal, I want you to, especially if you're doing plant-based healing 101, okay? Muscle test your food and write it down. And I want you to then I want you to keep track of it. Because when I started muscle testing my food years ago and I lost all this weight, what I found is that the things that were not good for me, and the things that I was craving when I went to the doctor to get blood work done, it was very interesting to see the correlation. So if you need like proof of it, that's the way to do that. Okay. Keep record of it. Adventuring, create your own luck. Luck starts with you. Simply by changing your energy, you have the power to shape your own fate. The first step is to align your thoughts, beliefs, and energy with what you want. You are fully aligned. You can attract the opportunities you desire to accomplish your goals. Like a magnet, you can set yourself up for the best possible outcome in any situation. Your luck is not a coincidence, it's your creation. And that's what we're talking about, right? Reframing. Thank you for listening. That's a micro move, a way to change things, right? And it says here, like a magnet. I said, like the universe says, be specific. Be specific with what you ask for. When I asked the universe, I want to be successful. And I'm telling y'all, I have this piece of this newspaper somewhere. And I said, because I was asked in an interview by a little, not a little, a Hampton Sydney paper. One of our clients is a writer for them, and he was asked to write a story on us. And he's like, great, because I have Tammy's number in my phone because she feeds me every Wednesday night. I would love to do the story. So number one, how cool is that? The kid that was assigned the story by the editor was already a client of ours and was super excited to do it. And he came over and he asked me how to define success. And I was like, everybody always says, like, you're not going to make any money. And Katie Shaw, where are you at? Is Katie Shaw here? Is Katie Shaw here? Katie Shaw came here, and Heather was here, and Sarah Watts was there at that dinner. And Kathy was also there. Kathy, I can't ever say her last name. Carmanicki? You know what I'm talking about. Katie and Kathy and Heather and Sarah and myself, and I can't remember who else was at dinner that night. And I said, I'm going to buy dinner. They had all driven from Florida. They'd flown in from all over the place. And I was like, the least I can do is buy everybody dinner tonight. It's not going to hurt me to do that. And I remember Katie Shaw smacked my hand and she says, Tammy, you ain't never going to have nothing if you keep giving it all away. Do you remember telling me that, Katie Shaw? Do you remember telling me that sitting at the North Street Press Club as we're eating dessert that I made and paid $8 a piece for? She said, Tammy, if you don't stop it, you ain't never going to have nothing if you give it all away. And I told the story in the newspaper article. I was like, and when I started this, I was able to do this out of pocket because I worked from home. I had no overhead. I just worked for 3 years before we came into this location. And I just saved my money. I gave myself $500, my obligation to my household, to be able to work for myself and not have to go get a job, was that I had to, on every Friday afternoon, I had to be able to deposit $500 into our joint account to cover my part of our bills. So our bills for us to live in our house and to pay our bills and to have any kind of savings and all that stuff was because I remember you saying that, right? Because I heard what you said, right? And so that's that. He had to put a 500 in. I had to put 500 in. That ran the house. And I told that story to the newspaper guy, and I was like, but I realized my dad said the same thing. My aunt, I've had more than one person say, hey, you have to stop giving it away. And I said, Success is not about making $1 to me. It's about making a difference. And seeing people smile and seeing people fed and seeing people dance around. I'm going to get emotional about this because it matters to me, right? And this last week, I've been really, last quarter or so, last 6 months, because of the overhead, right? Because of the things that I've taken on that did not bring me joy, that were not within my integrity, the things that just, I did it because it happened, things I didn't control. It put me in a place of fear and place of lack around money. And I never, ever, when I just lived my authentic self and didn't stress and didn't worry about money, right? When I said to myself, money flows to me in both expected and non-expected ways. I never was even stressed over money until the last 6 months. Because the universe is like, okay, well, you're not making good choices, so now this is going to happen, right? There's a definite correlation between what I was doing. You've overextended these things, and being within flow with this, right? Being within manifestation, taking myself out of that lower vibrational state, which this is why I'm telling you all this, because it's a little lesson for you all, right? Is how did I manifest? Number one, I said to the universe, this is the amount of money that I need to make this happen. I am working towards this. And this is what I knew, and I said it, and I manifested it because I asked the universe for exactly what I needed, and I knew and I stood on faith that it was already mine. And that's how you manifest. And so this last week, after spending some time in my journal and about creating your own luck, this is what this card is saying to each and every one of you, right? You have the ability to manifest and create the life in which you want without any problems. This is what this card is saying to you, right? It says, luck starts with you. Simply by changing your energy, you have the power to shape your own fate. The first step is to align your thoughts, beliefs, and energy with what you want. Be clear. Be clear with the universe about what exactly you want is. Don't say I want to be. I was like, it's about making a difference, not making $1. And I'm like, right now, I said to the universe, hey, I want to make a difference while making $1. Security, and I can't do this for free. And the penance for hard work and making a difference is not poverty. I need to be secure in my financial house so that I am able to be freer with my giving of my energy. That's the exchange. I need to be able to have this shored up to be able to pay Caesar, like give to Caesar what is Caesar's, right? Pay my taxes, pay the overhead, pay my staff, but I also want to make a difference. Like, let me be clear about this. And then I'm going to stand in the knowing that it's already mine. I'm going to stand in the faith that it is already mine, that it is already here, right? That I'm going to listen to what Katie Shaw says. Because says, hey, remember what Katie Shaw said. You can't give it all away. If you want to have a financial house that's secure, and that's where the sorry, not sorry, right? That's where the people pleasing part of me has to, unapologetic, and give what I can. Get understanding that I can give what I can give, and to stop being sorry when I can't, because it's nothing to be sorry for. I am grateful that I can give you this. For example, this week, for all those that are out there, we are donating 10% of our entire Friday sales for the Sugar Magnolia. So the Sugar Magnolia is my heart mission, right? So we are 10% of the Sugar Magnolia sales on Friday are going to our philanthropic Friday donations. So this Friday we busted ass, right? We worked our ass off on Friday. We sold 240 some pieces of chicken, a bunch of sides, desserts, all the things, and we had a $1,200 day. That's exactly what we sold. And so 10% of that, which is what our philanthropic giving campaign is $120. So I pulled $120 out of my cash till, put an envelope, and that's my donation. All weekend long, it has bothered me. I'm like, that was a lot, and I don't want people to. I'm like, I was stressing over. I'm stressing over. I'm like, that's a lot of work, and we didn't get to give it 100. And I was like, we're giving money. Like, why am I feeling this way? Like, that's exactly what I said I was going to do. I'm as good as my word. I'm giving 10% of our profits of the day. Okay, stop it. Like, get it out of your head. We're doing this for the entire month. We're helping. Like, I had to stop that, right? Um, that's what we are giving. That's the giving campaign. And so I am reframing and learning how to be better about those things. And I hope that you will out there as well. Um, I want to say thank you to everyone for watching today. Thank you for your patience as we were getting going this morning when things were not working well. Thank you for loving me through at me being out of flow. Thank you for loving each other and being there for one another. Thank you for supporting whatever it may be. I hope that many of you will give these pantry collections a try. The reason that I really moved into pantry collections, this is my ultimate goal. I've come up with a plan, so I'm gonna sneak peek it out to you all. Um, as you know, Norma Jean and I are working on a farm project, and that's probably a year or so out, if not more. We're trying to work through all the things of that. It's been a lot going on. I haven't had a chance to sit down with Norma Jean and talk about it, but she was here the other day, and we kind of discussed it. And I'm hoping that we can move forward on those kind of things, right? To make some money with the farm for Norma Jean to build her little tiny house over there and all the things one day. Um, but what I would like to be able to do is to create a community of farmers, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, Prani. Is it Prani or Prani? So what we're going to do is we'd like for you as you grow this summer, right? As you grow, put your plants in the ground. We offer a trimming service, and we normally offer the trimming service in exchange for the trim to be able to make our offerings. But what we want to be able to do moving forward is to create a tertiary business where we are you kind of like getting a cow slaughtered, right, or a pig slaughtered. We're like the slaughterhouse, right? You'll bring us your plants. You'll buy the curing bags. We have these big, they all should be tagged. So in Virginia, if you grow a plant, you tag your plant. So what we're going to ask you to do is bring your plants in with your tags. Each plant will then be put into you'll be a purchase thing. You'll purchase your curing bag, your big turkey bags. We'll ask that you bring things in at a certain level. We will cure it, we will trim it, and then we'll give you an ability to tell us how you want your plant back, right? So I want my plant back in growth bags and bud. I want this much sugar. I want this much butter. I want this much oil. I want this much hot sauce, all the things. There'll be prices for all those things. And you'll basically pay us to process your plant for you. And then you have the pantry items back. So you can come in, like, for example, if Bill and Norma Jean grew 4 plants, they would bring us in their 4 plants, the strains, we give them the number. We would weigh it, post cure. Here's the weight that you brought us in. We would keep track of it, and each plant would then have like your yield, what you got from each one, how much bud, how much butter, how much sugar, how much tincture, how much honey, how much all the things that you got out of it. And then you would come pick it up, pay your price, and then walk away with all of your items. And with our new pantry collection cookbook, you can then go home and be able to figure out how to utilize your olive oil, your coconut oil, your butter, your tincture, your hot sauce, your caramel sauce in these different ways to be able to use cannabis every day in every way in your healing. Whether it be for gut health, PTSD, MS, whether it's topicals, whether it's chapsticks, whether it's healing salves, whatever it may be, we want to be able to help you help yourself, right? And as we go through, we're going to be doing talking about strains next time. I'm going to be doing some more things because there are 3 types. There are it's sativa, indica, and ruderalis. Ruderalis is not normally found here. It's a landrace strain, which is people love ruderalis. But hold on the story about that. But we are going to get off of here in about 13 minutes, a little more than I wanted it to be. And I have a lot of stuff I need to do in this office. But on that, we're going to end our live and keep watching. I hope you tuning in and staying with me today. I know that it's been a little crazy, but I appreciate you. See, not apologizing. Sorry, not sorry. But I do want to thank you for watching. And as always, we're going to end our live with a little peace, a little love, and a little feast, y'all. As always, until next time, I'm Tammy. I love you.